I think that it could potentially have a serious impact. And let me explain why I think that. Amendment 1 deals with the charter school issue, and first of all, not opposed charter schools. We've got a lot of charter schools in the state, and they're very successful. To me, the issue is bigger in that it would create this agency that had formerly been declared unconstitutional. It would make it constitutional to have this agency. When we talk about funding, what I would be concerned with is over the last 4 or 5 years, the state, through austerity cuts, has withheld about $5 billion from public education across the state that has been earned through the QBE funding formula, and it just doesn't come down. So that is having a huge impact on districts. Right now we have 72 school districts in the state that are operating in deficit spending currently. So we have a number of districts that are in really critical situations financially. My concern would be if you look back at the history of the former commission and you look at the number of schools that they approved historically, it averaged about 7 schools a year. With the passage of House Bill 797 this year, which for the state special charter schools and any commission that may be approved by the new commission if it passes, those students in those schools would be receiving basically double the amount of state dollars that are going to students in traditional public schools or the local approved charter schools. And that was an effort to make up for the local funding that they were not receiving. But the problem would lie in, let's take that average approval of 7 schools a year. If the amendment passes and the agency is recreated, and we begin approving 7 schools a year. Well, if you extend that out 5 years, 7 schools a year for 5 years, because a charter is good for 5 years, the cost to the state in that extra money that's going to those students that I just talked about would be about $450 million a year. And that would be new state revenues above and beyond what is already earned through QBE. So I think knowing where we are with our school districts currently, financially, even with 72 of them currently in deficit spending, if we don't start restoring some cuts before we start funding another structure, we're going to have a lot of issues, especially in the rural parts of Georgia.